In my opinion, I understand that that call is not a call that is a reviewable call, but there is no way in the world after you saw that you could think anything other than Michael Conforto, plus he has that armor on, went ahead and stuck his elbow out. That ball was a strike. Yeah. And this is just my opinion, with the technology we have, that there is no way that this game should have ended in this manner. Right. Somehow, some way, you have to say, hey, there's a replay angle that, listen, we can overrun it, that is an obvious call, and that's what this was.
I agree with you, but do we want to go there? Right, that's the next question. Do we want to have everything reviewable?
Yeah, let's call Don Mattingly, see if he wants to go there.
So
let's talk to the pitcher. Oh, without a doubt. Let's get it right. Can you imagine?
That's the reason we brought replay in, was to get the call right.
Can you imagine playing a college football game or an NFL game without something to get it right? They still don't sometimes.
But that's another story.
He didn't get hit by a pitch,
right?
Ryan. He didn't get hit by a pitch. He got hit, his equipment got hit by a pitch. His equipment, and he called it a strike. Used to be, if a guy got hit by a pitch like that, the next time up you go, you really want to get hit? Here's one.
Well, the umpire made a mistake because the umpire is a human being, and they're going to make mistakes.
He's a good umpire, too.
Right, so it's like people say, how could he make that call? No, Mad Dog was killing him. How do you make that call? Because it happens in a millisecond, and you thought, oh, wait, did it hit him? Okay, and then his brain didn't start. I wonder why when they conferred, Buck, when a bunch of... They can't?
Well, the umpires could have if they knew for sure, but once they go to New York, the only thing they're going to tell them there is whether it hit him or not. They can't... And the way the rules are written, they can't tell him to overturn that. Now, if they got together there before they went to replay, that's where you'd like to see one of the guys go, hey, Ryan, we really want to end it. You had your strike up, you called a strike here.
Right.
But understand, Ron Culpo's the crew chief. Sometimes the other three umpires may not feel as comfortable letting him know that.
Well, that's my question. Right, but it is a power thing. That happens a lot. You don't want to go, you have a senior guy, you don't want to say, wow, you really blew that call. What I'm asking you, though, is if you're with the league, what are the parameters for what you can review? Like, do you want to look over, because that's a judgment call. You can't, look at that. It's balls and strikes. We're not going back to New York. So where is the line? If we're all for getting it right, what are the parameters for which you would go back to review things?
These are the things that happen that get rules changed. Things like this, the practical application in a game where you see what could happen that goes, okay, here's an exception. I think sometimes we've got such great tools, like Danny said, let's just get it right. We got something we've obviously missed. The thing that tipped it all off was the strike call.
Right.
You can't have something that you're paid to do as a pitcher, throw strikes. You throw a strike and you lose the game.
Well, I'm saying, real world, what would you tell the league? Wait, I want to review what? Is there just every single thing, or is it in the ninth inning? Is it a hit by pitch? What is it?
It more than likely the ninth inning, but even after the game was over and you watch some video or you do any reading on the game, from Michael Conforto to all of the Mets players, were like, you hate to win one like this, but we won it, right?
Right.
And I think if they would have reversed that call, I don't think any way that any Mets player, any personnel, any management would have thrown their arms up and said, hey, you know what? We got to get this right, and this wasn't right.
I remember calling a WBC game in San Juan, right, years back. We might have worked together, but we weren't doing this game together. And it was bases loaded. It was extra innings. Ball came inside, and a guy jumped back out of the way. And we're thinking, don't jump, the game's over if you stand there. But again, that mindset of where Conforto was too clued in, going, oh, wow, game's over.
Right,
if I get leaned.
That's a great point. The college game had a problem with this 3 or 4 years ago, where guys were being taught how to get hit by a pitch.
Right.
And they basically made an edict with all the umpires and we're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to allow it. And they solved the problem.
How did they solve it?
Just said, listen, they called them back.
They called it a lot more.
Or they called, they just said, you're not going to go to first base.